There's nothing worse than a leaking water feature. You have to do something about it. Figuring out where to start can be the most difficult step. Your first step is to turn everything off. Water always settles at its lowest point in the system. That is your standing water level. If it's leaking there, nothing else matters yet.
Alright, so we're going to need to give this through the rest of the night. We still have water draining out of these streams. It's all going to take hours and hours for all that water to come down to here, for this to all settle and be at our stationary point. And we are assessing whether or not there is a hole in the liner in this stream.
So once you have everything turned off and your system is settled to its standing water level, now we can monitor that water level over the course of 24 hours to make sure that the lower basin pond is not losing water at that point. We watch this over 24 hours with no precipitation, no rain, so that we don't get a false negative. If we lose an inch of water in the pond, but we get an inch of water of rain overnight, then that's going to tell us inaccurately that our pond is fine and holding water. So timing's really important. If it does hold water, then we move on to the next step. If it doesn't, we let it drain to the lowest point it's going to drain to. Then we have to repair the leak problem at that level before we can move on to the next step. So the next step is visually inspecting anywhere that water moves, whether it's moving over rocks and waterfalls through streams, or whether it's moving into a skimmer, out of a waterfall box, through filtration. Anywhere that water is going to be moving through, either using a pump, gravity fed, whatever your setup looks like, you have to understand what happens when you turn these things on. So as we turn everything on, you start looking through for some easy visual spots like liner edges that are low, big plant buildups in corners that have dammed water up. The best practice is to just go through, if possible, expose all of your liner edges. If you've got a skimmer, these will usually have plumbing, bulkheads that go out the back or the sides. This is where the pump is sending water through. If you've got a gravity-fed system, there's going to be some type of tie-in from the pond level at a bottom drain or at the sidewall, somewhere that's going to send water from one location to another. These areas should all be exposed so that when you turn on the operation, you can visually inspect and see if water is escaping the system. So now that we've gotten all of the obvious accessible loss of water issues exposed, seen, and repaired, now we got to move on to the things that are not so obvious, not so easily seen, and that would be your underground plumbing. Underground plumbing is easily isolated. It gets air tested no higher than 10 psi. This will immediately tell us if a pipe is leaking without damaging the system. For the next step, now that we have our underground plumbing, our basin, our obvious liner edges, everything's been checked off, but we're still losing water when the system is turned on. Depending on the length and complexity of your streams, waterfalls, or different stages, is going to determine how long this next part of the process is going to take. What we need to do is we need to isolate each region, and that can be done differently depending on access and size, width and streams. All sorts of things are going to come into play. So we've got some video for you to take a look at on a very large system that needed a lot of different sections isolated, as well as a much smaller system that still had several different heights that it could have been losing.
All right, so we're bypassing this. We're running the stream. Once this goes all the way down and starts filling up, we'll get a measurement. And if we lose water there, then we'll attach more pipe and we'll bring it down to this level. And we'll just step by step till we find out where this problem's at. So we're running a bypass. We already tested the bog. So the issue is not in the bog. So now we're past the bog. And we're gonna have 4 disconnection points for this side of the stream. All right, so today we moved it from this position to this. I'll get a video and a picture. Let's see where we're holding for now.
So once we have isolated where the leak is at through this bypass pipe system, then we have to really dive in deep and start opening up all of the liner in that area. This process is a focused search in an isolated area which needs to be repaired from the bottom up. What I mean by that is your lowest waterfall section that has shown a leak through your bypass, you have to find that leak before you can move up to the waterfall above it, or it will just continue to show you a leak when you go to move the bypass pipe. So if you've gotten this far on your own, you just keep repeating this last step as you go up through your streams and waterfalls until you've isolated and repaired all of the problems. If it's become a little overwhelming or you're not sure what to do, you'll find that most pond companies are going to charge an hourly rate, and they're going to typically just be hunting for wet spots and looking for a needle in a haystack. This method is a structured process of elimination that's going to guarantee results. Rockwater Ponds offers a flat rate diagnostic service that covers as many visits as required to locate the source, and then major repairs will be discussed and approved separately. I hope that you found this video helpful in hopefully making your water feature get back to what it used to be, creating enjoyment rather than stress.